On a clear, freezing night in the spring of 1912, the largest moving object ever built by human hands slipped through the North Atlantic in near total silence. She was called Unsinkable. 85 years later, she would also become unforgettable, not only as history, but as cinema. Built at the Harland and Wolff shipyard in Belfast, Titanic was the second of 3 Olympic-class liners commissioned by the White Star Line, a vessel of unprecedented scale, nearly 900 feet long, designed to make the Atlantic crossing an experience of pure luxury. On the 14th of April, 4 days into her maiden voyage, Titanic struck an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Within 2 hours and 40 minutes, the ship that was meant to be unsinkable was gone, taking with her more than 1,500 lives. It remains, even now, one of the deadliest peacetime maritime disasters in history, and one of the most studied. 85 years after the sinking, filmmaker James Cameron set out to rebuild Titanic almost exactly as she was. In Rosarito, Mexico, his team constructed a 90% scale replica of the ship's starboard side beside the Pacific Ocean, in a custom-built tank holding millions of gallons of water. Where the real ship ended, visual effects began. Miniatures, digital crowds, and groundbreaking water simulation software allowed the filmmakers to recreate the sinking with a level of scale and detail no production had achieved before. Costume designers researched original Edwardian fashion down to the stitching, while the production team studied salvaged White Star Line china, ironwork, and ship fittings to rebuild the interiors with museum-level accuracy. Onto this rebuilt history, Cameron wove a fictional love story. 2 passengers from opposite ends of the ship's rigid class system swept into the unfolding disaster. Jack and Rose were inventions, but the world around them was not. Real officers, real musicians, and real passengers moved through the same corridors as the fictional couple, anchoring the romance inside genuine, documented events. It was this blend, intimate fiction inside immense fact, that gave the film its emotional power, turning a maritime disaster into a deeply personal story of loss. Composer James Horner built a score that paired full orchestra with haunting vocal melody, becoming one of the most recognized film scores ever written. Around it, the lead performances carried the emotional weight that turned spectacle into intimacy. Titanic was nominated for 14 Academy Awards and won 11, tying the record for the most Oscars ever won by a single film, including Best Picture and Best Director. The real wreck still lies on the ocean floor, explored by submersibles and researchers who continue to study her remains. A permanent reminder that beneath the film's romance lies an actual tragedy and actual lives. More than a century after she sank, and decades after she returned to the screen, Titanic endures as history, as heartbreak, and as one of the most ambitious stories cinema has ever dared to tell. Some ships are remembered for how they were lost. This one is remembered for how she was found again.